Bonjour, bonsoir, comment allez-vous? Bonjour, bonsoir, comment ça va? J'espère que tu vas bien. Je suis la reine de l'école Imperial. Mon nom est la Livre. Bienvenue sur ma chaîne. Welcome to my channel. Everybody, it is late. Not as late as it has been in the past, but nonetheless, it is late for me. I have been on the road. But I'm here. I am here. I knew that I needed to be in. So, hello, everybody. Thank you. Welcome to the recap of this year's Working Ritual Weekend. Now, I'm not showing any videos or any clips, but this is just to get some testimonies or just to get some other feedback about how this Working Ritual Weekend went for everybody. But before we get into all of those things, I must first ask you to please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, leave a sweet, kind comment below, hit your notification and postification button, and please share the video. D'accord? Super. Merci. So, let's see who we have in the chat this evening. We have Get It Butterfly, we have Petter, Cameron, Dee, Dr. Stephanie, Marche, Marcel, Dynamic Divine Readings, Emily, etc. Oh, and we have a new member, Sailor. Hello, Valencia. How are you? Long time no see. So, hello, Amanda. So we're here this evening to just sort of get some recaps, have some discussion about this Working Ritual Weekend. Now, of course, I am going to remind everybody. Bonsoir, bonsoir, Impressive Magic. Comment vas-tu? J'espère que tu vas bien. Merci, Impressive Magic. So, of course, I'm going to mention the 2025 Hoodoo Queen Conjure FETE. Please push through, Bob. Yes. Merci, Ice and Snow Show. Thank you. So, of course, use your 15% off code. You know, I will say this maybe weekly, maybe every video. I don't know. Where people are going to mess up is you are going to end up giving your VIP spots away and you're going to be upset about it. There will be a moment in the 2025 Hoodoo Queen Conjure FETE where the VIP individuals will all be going with myself, with Queen Mother, and with Clan Mother. And everyone else will have to congregate with themselves and all of those things. Again, I need to remind you, use your 15% off code. And then also break it up into 4 easy installments, okay? There are, again, it's giving Coco meets Marilyn. I like it. So, yes, just wanted to mention those things. There are things that have not been unlocked yet, events, material, product that people are going to be getting. So there's that. But anyways, we are here this evening to discuss the 2025 Working Ritual Weekend. I thought this Working Ritual Weekend, I always get asked on a regular basis. Also, hold up before I get into this. How there should be a code for the graduates. If I have not put them in your Facebook groups, I'll be certain to go back and do that. Because I actually have had some codes and didn't send them out. And then I've given out some codes and they weren't live on the website. So I will probably double check that tomorrow. If everything should be in everyone's Facebook groups no later than tomorrow evening around 8. Okay. Um, but one way or the other, like I said, these spots are going, but I will definitely get that going for everyone. Um, but also too, I was going to mention. Oh yes, I do hope the virtual coven enjoyed the rosemary ou le meroméron. Roméron, pardon, moi je suis désolée. The rosemary um, spirit class I gave yesterday. There are, and that's what's probably going to be the going rate for the virtual coven. Because again, I'm really trying to work on my time management and a variety of things and prioritize, but as well as put myself in a position to, again, parent. As I did mention to you all when I first brought up, the surrogacy thing and the IVF of it all, the election, the election, the election. Well, now here we are, and now we have to deal with these things, and it is absolutely not what I want to do, which is why a part of the reason why I am where I'm at this particular moment. I'm not at home at this very second, but just give me a second or two. But yeah, so there's that. But I saw where a lot of individuals really enjoyed the the class or the conversation or the tip on working with rosemary ou le romarin. Le romarin. D'accord? So now let us jump into the recap of the working ritual weekend. So I thought a lot of people always ask me on a regular basis, well, Queen, how do you feel about it? How everything goes? Well, it's interesting. If you hold the working ritual weekend to the Conjure FETE, I am absolutely the link is still live for the donations. But as I mentioned, November 1st um was the date because it was like, in fact, it was a earlier date, but I was like, I'll try to stretch it out. And I tried to stretch it out, but it really didn't make that big of a difference. Still blessed. So I literally just had to take what I had and the day after the election, drive, I think it may have been like an 8-hour trip or so to start talking to people to figure out things and get things moving to the best of my ability. And so here we are. But the link is still up, and if you want to donate, you're more than welcome to. But I won't be promoting that moving forward. But there's that. Um, so when holding the Conjure FETE next to the working ritual weekend, people will often ask, like, "Are you? How did you feel about it, etc." I always will tell people my feelings are validated or confirmed by how blessed you are as the attendees. Um, I don't, go, oh yes, I'm giving this and I'm providing that or whatever else. Like it's not about me. Like you'll, even with it being the Hoodoo Queen Conjure FETE, and although I may be the host, it's me pouring into the attendees. It's not about look at me, look what I can do, and all of those things. So when it comes to the working ritual weekend and the Conjure FETE is the tools, the supplies, the method, um, the system that one can operate in if they so see fit, but also it provides a space to be introduced to traditional people, spaces, and actual avenues that you may end up traveling. It's a beautiful introduction to those things. The working ritual weekend It's all about your innate, natural, supernatural abilities. This is about your gifts. So when you know your gifts, it allows your method of magic to be efficient. And so the the working ritual weekend provides that. And I did see, and I tell you, it's one of the most difficult things, but I did see a lights begin to go off in people. That encouragement began to sort of show up a little bit stronger, and those things. And so it definitely, and it's beautiful to see it like in real time, because the conjure effect, it is with everything that you get and everything that's going on, you have to process it for almost like a year before you can actually be like, all right. But the working ritual weekend, we begin to see things there. So um I so there's that. So I would love to bring someone on from the working ritual weekend to hear about what were your biggest takeaways from the working ritual weekend. What did the working ritual weekend provide for you? So this working ritual weekend, I already have the other one. I'm working on it now, and it's gonna move. It's gonna move some things. Um, but the working ritual weekend this year was about lifting the veil to your psychic abilities. One, thank you, Dynamic Divine Readings. And the other part was mediumship. Two, and then I surprised them with a purification ritual. It was a setup, as it always is, a setup, and it really, really just confirmed so many things. Bonsoir, Richard. Bonsoir. It confirmed my psychics. It confirmed my mediums. It confirmed my hypersensitives to my spiritual healers and my empaths, etc. And so when people walked away from this working ritual weekend, you can actually say, based off of the gifts that were presented, I do have this, I don't have this, this is spot on, this needs to be worked on. I don't need to work on this because I don't have this. So is there anybody from the working ritual weekend that would like to show up? The link is over in the chat here, that would like to speak to your experience from the working ritual weekend. And the thing about it is this, I'm still mad about one of those. Yeah, well, what to do, what to do. So, yes, it was so specific to a variety of these species. We also, of course, here is one of the attendees. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Comment vas-tu?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Ah, ça va, ça va. So, how was the working ritual weekend for you?
The working ritual weekend was absolutely wonderful. I can't speak for anyone else. I enjoyed myself. One being able to just get away to focus because it's so easy to get caught up in the mundane life that it's hard to show up as your full authentic self because you're so stuck in the mundane. Um, I won't mind saying that yes, after the after the dreaming assignment, I was pissed. And Marcel is still teasing me to this day about how the fact that I ended up dreaming.
Would you like to share that? And I also want to just mention this before you bring that up if you decide to. But I think it's very important for people to understand the importance of disconnecting from the mundane in order to connect to you spiritually. Because we are so demanded by the day to day. So you have to disconnect to actually connect. Some people have to disconnect to reconnect,
Mhm.
um, kind of deal. So would you like to share the dream assignment?
Um, the actual assignment itself, or just my experience of
Your experience and why are you being teased?
it. Well, let's start off with the fact that because of a mundane medical issue, I don't reach REM sleep, so I generally don't dream. How some people dream and they forget their dreams. I go to sleep, it's blank, and then I wake up, and
Mm.
I maybe will dream 4 times, 5 times a year max. So you had us do the assignment. I'm thinking I'm gonna do the assignment to be obedient, and I'm gonna wake up and it's gonna be absolutely nothing. No, not only am I dreaming, did I dream, but I was completely lucid in my dream, to the point of saying, "Ooh, I'm gonna have to remember this. I'm gonna have to write this down. I'm gonna have to. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to let this person let them know that they were in my dream." Da 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 da. And then as soon as I woke up, the ability to access the knowledge of what happened in my dream was not there, and I wasn't pissed over the fact that I didn't remember the stuff. I'm pissed that I dreamed at all, because in the first place I was not expecting to dream, like you ended up saying the day after, of getting out of expectations, because I was not expecting to dream.
Hmm. I think that was a big takeaway from a lot of people too when I made that statement of release the expectations.
Yeah.
Release that expectation of it's going to happen this way, or it's going to feel like this, or these things are going to happen, or whatever. Let that go, because what are you basing your expectations on? Whose expectations and standards are you actually holding yourself to? Kind of deal. But um, I do thank you for sharing that experience, and how, again, sometimes people don't understand that you need particular mediums like the cards or other things to induce or to trigger some things. So the thing is, Richard, although you did not remember what necessarily happened, what did you learn about yourself regarding that particular experience?
That I do dream. That I am a dreamer.
But
Even
also, how do you make yourself dream?
with the appropriate mediums.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why I always tell people when it comes to like even conjuration, it's not that it doesn't work. It's how is it working? It's not that you can't dream, it's how do I dream? So there's always a solution. So when it comes time to, what, I need this answer, I'm not understanding it with the cards, or I'm not seeing it in the bones, you know what? Let me stick doop, 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 right up under here and do what I need to do, and you will get what you need. But also, that was just night one. It's about building that muscle until you can remember. But then we have to ask the question, are we dreaming or are we projecting astrally?
Mm, For me, because I'm aware of my astraling, um, being in my more European witchery spaces got me okay with astraling. And I know what it feels like to astral, and I can do it while awake and not just while asleep. So I know what that feels like. And this definitely felt different.
Perfect. That's what I love to hear. And the reason why that is so great is because people need to, this is like when I talk about those psychic triggers or those spiritual triggers. What does it feel like when you're having a vision versus a dream versus a prophecy versus astral projecting versus being hypersensitive? Do you know, as I was telling you all throughout the weekend, get out of your head, get into your body. What do you feel? What
Yeah.
do you feel? Get out of your head, get into your body. What do you feel? Knowing those particular things. Um, and that's super, super amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. Is there anything that you would like to share about the weekend outside of that? Um, because this year was your first year coming to the Working Ritual Weekend.
Yes, I have been to many conjure fetes, but this was my first working ritual weekend. Um, I loved how practical it was. I love how hands on it was. When we did our walk and we did what we did on our walk, it really helped me to realize that I know what it feels like. I know now what it feels like in my body for spiritual work to be done. I had to do a protection work recently, and I lit the flame
Mm-hmm.
and I felt it. I felt the ashe work, and I was like, "Ooh!" I divined real quick to make sure, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yes, yes, we're good,
Mm-hmm.
cool." And so it helped me feel in my body what it feels like when I am doing work, when my ashe is aiding my conjure.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah,
Good. I am so happy to hear that. Thank you so
thank you.
very much for sharing that, Richard, and continue to stay pissed.
Okay.
Have a good one. Thank you so much. So, yeah, so I am so happy that Richard came on and provided that. Um, bringing up so many great, and I just reposted the link if anybody else wants to join that came to the Working Ritual Weekend. But those points of, again, knowing what it feels like, because in the Working Ritual Weekend, I very much go strongly into the space of connecting to source. That is not a statement. That's not something that you hear from me on the channel often, but it's because I save these things for these in-person moments that is not going to make sense here. I need you here in order for me to allow you to feel and teach you how to feel. And oh, now I am connected. Oh, this is off, or all of these things. And there's always like these impromptu spiritual moments. We actually, on our forge, came face to face with a Luraru layer or pathway, le chemin de la Luraru. And so this is like the road of the Luraru. They were able to, merci chez merci, um, they were able to see that. And we have another attendee here. Amanda, bonsoir, comment vas-tu?
Hello, Queen. How are you?
I am good. How are you? How was the Working Ritual Weekend for you? This was your second.
This is my second one. Yes, ma'am.
How was it different from the first year?
Oh yeah, it was a big difference.
And
Listen, Queen, I really wanted to come on here because it's two spaces that I want to speak about. It's two things that you did for me. You did way more than two things, but it's two things that stuck out for me that weekend. Okay, so the first one. I'm gonna speak about is not really in the spiritual space. It's kind of like the mundane. So one of the best parts for me was seeing you ride your horse.
Merci.
And the reason why it was, you said something to us, and I don't know if everybody, heard you when you said it. You said, "This is my release. This is how I let go." And for me, that stuck out to me because sometimes I don't know how to release and let go. And I'm like, okay, this is her thing, and this is what keeps her grounded.
Hmm.
And that stuck to
I cannot do any of this if I'm not with the horses or if I'm not doing music, um, in other spaces that feed me, without a doubt. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So that really stuck out to me, and I brought that back with me to incorporate in my life. Because sometimes, with everything I have going on, sometimes I do get caught up in the spirituals, the spirituals, the spiritual. But you always told us we have to have one foot in, one
Hmm.
foot out. And so, listen, I'm listening to you now. I'm
No,
like,
baby. Yeah, yeah. Excuse me. Yes, you're right. You are listening because some people hear me, but they're not listening.
yes,
And
ma'am.
sometimes the listening is not with the ears, but it's
Exactly.
with the eyes, you know.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I am so happy to hear that. Have you had a moment to identify what your grounding is, what your release is?
Oh yes, for sure. So mine is, and I think I spoke about it before, but I kind of slept on it. But you, outside of here, you told me about, I told you how I like to go to the river. I like to go to the water. That's been a thing for me ever since I was younger, and I just chalked it up to I just like the water. But no, that's a thing for me. Like, I actually went today on my lunch. I posted it like on my Instagram, and a lot of people seen it and they was like, "Where are you at? That is beautiful." And I go out there because that's where I can ground myself. That's
Hmm.
where I can release all. I literally get close to the water. Sometimes I touch it and my thoughts go clear.
Mm, I
Literally.
love
So
that.
yes, I love it. So I really appreciate you for that. Thank you, Queen.
You're so welcome. And the
And then,
second space,
yes, the second space is a spiritual space. So, like, I have to speak about this because oh my god, I laugh about it every time I think about it. So we did a what did you call it, Queen? What was it, like a, you had a word for it, and it's my mind just went blank just then when I was about to say
is
it.
it a purification?
No, it wasn't the purification one. It was kind of like when we were doing the exercise. It was like guess to see like about empath
Oh, the
hypersensitivity.
laying of the hands.
Yes, that one. Okay. So my partner, my amazing partner, and he is so amazing. But anyway, the second time, it was like the second part of the exercise. Oh, well, the second time we switched.
Who
Okay.
was the partner?
Cameron.
Yes, yes, yes.
Cam.
Cam is
I love me some.
everything. Yes.
So, I felt something different. Like I've always knew that I had hypersensitivity. I always kind of felt like I had like some type of empath type of, we've talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was confirmed that weekend because we were breathing and it's almost like me and Cam's breath like synced up. And it was like like first I like it's like my face got warm, and then it was different. This was different, Queen. And like it's like me and him, we were breathing, and like I knew whatever he was thinking about, whatever he was feeling, it was very joyful and happy because every time I breathed in with that man, I was laughing too.
Yes, indeed. I love that. I love that.
I had to ask. I was like, Cam, did you hear me back there? He was like, yeah, I heard you back there laughing. I was like, because this right here, whatever you were thinking about, it was very joyful. And he said that he was thinking about a very joyful memory for him.
Yes,
So that stuck out to me, and I brought that back home. And I feel like that's a muscle. Even though I know I have it, I still have to work on it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody, including myself, even like being in the day to day, doing the readings, I do particular work for people, but it becomes such a routine that it does not allow me to develop beyond that unless it's for my family or whatever else. And so understanding that when you identify those things that you can do, it is imperative that you do work in those spaces and all of those things. But also, I'm so happy that people were able to see the difference between an empath, because it wasn't, oh, well, I feel what you're feeling. No, you are now laughing
Mm-hmm.
because you have taken those emotions, you've taken that physicality, you now are holding what he is holding,
Exactly.
you transfer that into you, or whatever. And so that is incredible versus just people going, well, and then let me ask you this part.
Okay.
What about the moment I had you all connect to the physical?
Oh yes. Okay. So that was kind of crazy for me and Kim because it was like we both were half right. And I remember
Mhm,
we talked about that. And so it's like I think I can Cam like either he pinched his left hand or something like that, and I pinched my right leg or something like
mhm.
that. So it's like Cam had the side,
The
knew that
side.
I was on my right side, and I knew that he pinched his hand.
Yes.
And it was just crazy. He was like, okay, what am I to do with that, Queen? He was like, well, what are you gonna do? And I was like, oh God. I was like, oh my God. So yes, that was amazing though, because I was like, oh my God, how did you know? He was like, it was on your right side, wasn't it? And I was like, it was. Like, so that was just it was
And
amazing.
even like those kind of things go back into the seership, that divine knowing, So even if I don't feel, but I know it, that's the seer,
Yes.
that part. Um, and just speaking on that, because this is something that I don't know if y'all talked about it amongst yourselves, but the moment when we were on foraging,
Okay.
and I had Gabriel stand in the middle of the line,
Oh, yes.
that whole experience, what was that for you?
Listen, I didn't really talk about that a lot, but I was kind of very close to you when you did that. And so one of the problems that I've always had is just not, connecting basically, like dropping my thoughts and connecting. So listen, I'm not gonna lie, I was very jealous how Gabe did that. 'Cause he was spot on. And when you did what you did, and he was like, oh yeah, it's over here on my right. And I was like, oh my God, I can't do that. But it
Yes.
was amazing, like how I literally could see him, how he just left out, I'm not gonna say left out of his
Yeah.
body, but
Mhm.
yeah, you get what I'm saying though, kind of like him
Got
leaving
out of his
his
head
body.
and into his body.
Yes. And then like you just connected with that field around him, or like his source or whatever. And like you didn't touch him, you didn't put your hands on him. His back was to you. It's no way that he would have known,
Mhm.
or even been able to guess correctly what you did. And he was spot on. He was like, hey, you were on my right, and he pointed to exactly where you were. And I was like, oh my God.
And I don't know if you caught, but even when I took the step,
Yes. Yes.
he also,
So
at the same time,
one thing I noticed about you, Queen. So I remember the first working ritual, when we were in the woods, and you kind of did something similar with Marcel.
mhm,
And I noticed when you did that, I could tell when you connected with him and you really had it, because you made him sway.
mhm,
Made him sway. You did the same thing with Gabriel too.
mhm,
Like I was like, oh my gosh, she's connected, because I remembered that. I was like, she's moving him. He was literally swaying, like with your hands, like back and forth
yes,
motion or whatever. So that was amazing. It was amazing.
wonderful. Thank you so very much.
You're
And
welcome.
I'm just again so proud of you for
Oh,
your spiritual investment. Beyond your spiritual investment, your development.
well,
Like
thank you.
I am constantly, and I would even go as far as this. I'm not crediting your spiritual development to your personal development, but you are evolving for the better, personally, physically, spiritually. Like I'm seeing a very aligned transformation and evolution. So
Don't
keep
make me cry on your
doing
live, Queen. Please don't.
keep doing what you're doing because it's working. people see it, value that, and protect it. Okay?
Yes, ma'am, for sure. Thank you
You
so
were
much.
so welcome. Well, I will see you soon.
All right.
Merci. Yeah, so thank you, Amanda, for being here and speaking to both of those things. You know, it is very important that we absolutely um hello Shia, how are you? Shia actually came to the working ritual weekend. If you would like to join in, Shia, this was your first working ritual weekend, and it would be lovely to hear your experience. Um but that importance of understanding the how you gotta feed you. You have to. You have to. And I'm gonna tell you something. I am so grateful for you all because you all allow me to do it. You allow me, you understand. You have compassion for going, Queen, do you? We understand. You give so much, do you? You gotta do you kind of deal. And I struggle with it. I do. I've become more clear and more um have given myself more grace and understanding that, hey, look, my baby, this is not a dress rehearsal. You got to give to you. And even in this particular point in time right now, I'm having to choose efficiently, prioritize my priorities so that I'm getting my personal things done, so that I'm able to fulfill the professional and spiritual and purposeful things that are needing to be done. So thank you so much, Amanda, for seeing that and coming to the rodeo and all of those things. And then, that second part of the laying of the hands and really that confirmation. I'm telling you, the working ritual weekend, I mean, I know it's not all the things, but baby, it is what you need so you can have what you want in the magic that you provide. Um and and the bougie mystic, she says, I feel that such a delicate balancing act. I actually eliminated the term balance from my vocabulary. It is a harmonization of worlds. Because when you balance, it's a up, it's a down, it's a up, it's a down onto things. But if you can get things to harmonize, everything works together, if that makes sense. So, but yes, it is absolutely a delicate harmonization of the situation of it all. So, yes, is there anybody else that came to the working ritual weekend that wants to join in? Shia, if you are, I don't know if cooking dinner right now is still cooking, and you can't. If you can't, it's okay. Shia is very new to the community, a current student. She came to the working ritual weekend for the first time, had her own triumphs herself. And so I thought it would be, oh, yes, I like that better. It's our concept of, what you say? Nam Yoho Rengekyo. What you say, Bougie Mystic? What in the... Yes, Nam Yoho Rengekyo. I think. Yes, indeed. Baby, you know what? I'm going to say something. This is off topic. But that is the anime pool. She could have sat in that room and Nam Yoho Rengekyo, Nam Yoho up under her breath and just fine. But she pushed Ike when she decided to get louder than the music. She was ready at that point. She said on sight. Every time she got louder, it was on sight. So she knew what was about to go down. I'm just saying, I think at that point, she was just like, let me test my aura. Let me test. Because I'm just saying, because I'm like, you know what? Now that was not Tina, that was Anna Mae from the country. Okay. Working Ritual Weekend was definitely a weekend where I was fully fed, Saphir said. And now I understand more about myself on what I have and what I don't have. I learned a lot and I'm grateful to have found a space of truth. Thank you so much, Saphir. Thank you. I am so happy. What I also just love is the fact that you were able to come to the Working Ritual Weekend. You brought someone. I read from them night one at the soiree. First time meeting and your people start talking on site kind of deal. And so that was amazing. And being able to meet both of you and also being able to see that those things that have been verified. Hi, Queen. For the Institute, are you required to be in person at a point? Yes, you must come to the CONJURE FETE, which is why my Institute students right now, they're really slow and dragging their feet about it. And they're going to be so upset because these VIP tickets are being bought and they're going to be mad. But I'm just saying. So yes, CONJURE FETE and your graduation. You can complete the course and not graduate. If you don't come to the CONJURE FETE and you don't come to your graduation, there are some things that you cannot get otherwise. So, oh yes, Callie was in the house. West Coast down boots. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, that was the first confirmation for me, even though it wasn't my people speaking to you. It still confirmed truth for me, and I am grateful to you and my ancestors. Merci, Sapir. Merci. So yes, everybody, that's just a couple of great solid points about the Working Ritual Weekend. It truly moves me when I see that people are receptive to what is, and that's what I loved too. Like, again, it's a thing of, yep, I can do this and I can't do that, but it's okay. I don't, and I think I made it very clear. This is not a talent show. This is not a contest. This is not America's Next Top Conjurer. This is not any of those things. This is not, America's Got HOODOO. Like, it's not any of those things. And to release those things, those thoughts, and I need to perform to show people. No, it's not about nobody at this table outside of you, your gifts, your abilities, your talents, your connection or your disconnection, any and all of those things. So, yes. But if I don't have anybody else that would like to come on and speak to their the ratings would be through the roof. I'm going to post the link one more time for anyone that may be interested in coming on. And while we give people that opportunity, I do want to remind you that the 2025 Hoodoo Queen CONJURE FETE the tickets are available now. You are going to have the ability to be with actual royalty and high holding excellence within the spiritual community, learning things about your warrior Loa, getting a private reading from Queen Mother, and learning your totem spirit animal, your actual spirit guides with Clan Mother Sharon Wapatukwe Piper. There are going to be incredible opportunities to be a part of a private powwow that we are bringing in the part of my indigenous group here in Alabama, as well as part of Clan Mother's group in Connecticut will be coming down. You will have an opportunity to be in the presence of the modern day Imperial Claw G with Queen Mother Dewoti Desir. And remember to use your 15% off coupon code. This does end on the 16th. Don't wait on it. All right. And at this point in time, we now have Marcel. And
Hello,
start with
hello.
Marcel, and then we'll jump to Shia. I see you in the queue. I will add you on Shia after Marcel, okay? You can just give me a thumbs up. I see you in the camera, but you're not up here. I don't have you on yet. Okay? So, Marcel, what would you like to share?
Good evening, Queen. Good evening, everybody.
Marcel.
Working ritual weekend was excellent. This is my second one. Um, there was a specific angle that I wanted to go into about the whole mediumship thing
Mm-hmm.
and the mediumship classes because I had an experience a few days ago, early in the morning on my way to work. There, if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and share it that there was this little boy and his mother that was getting restless early, and mama wasn't trying to have it, so she gives them this set of bells right
Mm.
there at the railroad track, and he get to going, and he got him a little cadence going. I cut my eyes aside. I said, "Okay, all right," and he get to going, and I'm like, "Okay, do I tap in?" Train comes in about 12 minutes. Let's see what you got. So I tap in and I hear Elijah. Now I didn't have the guts to turn around and ask if they knew anybody named Elijah, but I'm feeling this thing get stronger in me.
Mm-hmm.
And and everybody has the experience of it's amazing, it's beautiful, it's a little spooky.
Scary.
It's a
Yeah.
little scary. It's something that'll keep you on your toes. It's never new. It's never old, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
It's never something that gets old. It's always fresh.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that makes me so happy. But also, Marcel, you know, I remember it was once upon a time there was a guy named Marcel in the Institute once saying, "Oh, I'm definitely not a seer."
Mm-mm.
But who
I
was
don't know.
seeing at
Mm-mm.
the Working Ritual weekend?
Not him. Not him. Yeah,
Yes,
it's a
and
lot of those moments that I'm seeing like, oh, well, then again, let's reconsider that.
yes. And what I love about these moments, like the mediumship and even the seership aspect of it all, it is a true introduction to you.
Absolutely.
It's an introduction into you. It's not, oh, well, this is what Queen did for me. No, this is hi Marcel, the seer. Hi Marcel, the medium. Now, where does that level of mediumship lie? I don't know. We don't
Let
know
time
yet.
handle that.
It could be very heavy. It may not be so heavy. But regardless, you know that it's there. And so you have to begin to listen to
Hmm.
what is there and trusting what you know. It was like during the mediumship part when I had the things and everyone was, oh, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that, and da 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 da. Da. And it was like, oh, well, I think one of my statements was, do you feel like a failure?
Yeah, right.
Um,
Yes.
and the reason why it's like, you shouldn't release those expectations.
Hmm.
The point of a medium is to connect to what is
What is
present,
there?
not to what's in the box.
Hmm.
What are you hearing? It's that thing, you know, and that is that those are the moments that that will change the trajectory of your bloodline.
They gonna write about it.
You know, it changes everything at that moment to go, oh, wow. Because I did not discredit one person.
No, because what is there to discredit? You felt what you felt.
And you heard
You
what you
heard what
heard.
you
Exactly.
heard.
That is, you heard that thing.
Hmm.
Hello, Devo Evolutions. Yes. Wish you could have been there, Devon. So I I'm so happy, and also too, as a cabin headmaster, um, it's beautiful for people to also see where you are in your um revelations, and the same with Nelly and Josie.
Yeah,
It's just really beautiful for people to go, oh, okay,
we're growing together.
exactly. And
Absolutely.
again, it's not, oh my goodness, they know it all and they're all of these things, but wow, okay.
Hmm.
And so I think it's also humbling to those, that again have this expectation or this idea of things. So I
And you
am
know
so
what
happy, Marcel, that you shared those moments. Um,
it's funny what the captain of the boat said before we left off the boat. He said, "So you are the thread that brings all of this together," and he was absolutely right. And he probably got something on him because he nailed that on the head. Thank you for
look,
saying yes to
look,
your charge.
he doesn't even know what he heard, but he said it.
Right.
Yeah.
You are the thread that brings us all together. Thank you for saying yes to your charge because it benefits us all.
Thank you so much, Marcel. It was a pleasure. Merci. And I will speak to
Pleasure.
you soon. Oui.
See you very soon.
All right. And she is in the house. Hello. Oh, I can't hear you, my love. I can't hear you. You're muted. Let me.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Sorry, I was cooking. I came in here late.
It's okay. Well, first and foremost, what are we cooking?
We are making Spanish caldo, which
Okay, explain.
it's chicken soup, and I put a bunch of vegetables together, and then I make Spanish rice on the side, and we put it all together, and it's good, especially when you have a cold. I ended up getting a cold when I came back, so trying to heal.
Yeah, Mobile will do that because it's so warm and humid. You get things when you're here, you get back home. It's that whole thing. So,
Exactly.
yes,
But we're healing, so
absolutely. So, Shia, this was your first and foremost, you're new essentially to the Conjure South and the Hoodoo Queen space. But this was also your very first in-person experience. How has it been for you as a newbie to the space, a new institute student, and now a working ritual weekend attendee?
So the first thing that I would like to say is thank you. It was an amazing experience. I am the kind of person that I don't like to make too many changes. And for me to even fly out by myself was a huge change for me. I always have somebody with me. So that was already a major change for me. Second, it's like getting to get there, and I went with a blank state. Like it's like you said, come here with a blank canvas,
Mm-hmm.
and I left everything behind that I knew, my own personal experiences behind, any expectations. I went there to see what is it that I can gather from my own personal bloodline. And I love the fact that that's what you teach us. You teach that we are born with given gifts, some of us, but not everybody has special gifts. Everybody has different things that you can do. But when I got there, I mean, I didn't know I can lay hands. And I mean, I was experiencing everything that my new bestie was experiencing, and that was amazing. We were like, how are we connecting so much? And then just to know that these gifts that I had as a child now confirms everything that I've known. I
Mm-hmm.
own experiences, but this was just like, boom, here's a confirmation, here's another confirmation. And you weren't the person to tell us like, hey, this is what you have to learn, and if you don't learn it, then you're not receiving what the value is. You actually allowed us to experience it on our own, but you were there to guide us, and I love that about that. I don't have any regrets going. Everyone was so humble and willing to help, share, and come together as a real community. And I have no regrets, and I can't even thank you enough for that.
Oh, thank you. So, what do you think was the biggest thing that changed your perspective about yourself in that experience? Or what was one of those moments that really just like blew your mind?
So, one of the experiences I had is when you were doing the seership, you were telling us, write down what you feel. And I've always had these feelings, but I never put them together. I was like, why do I hear humming when I have to get a confirmation? Why do I feel like I'm going to faint? Because that's how my experience are. My eyes start to like move
Mm-hmm.
along. But I didn't know that those were confirmations. So it completely changed everything. Because before I would have never thought about that. I would have been like, I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. But now it's like when I start feeling that, it's like, here you go. That was an experience for myself. Like I didn't know that my body can do that. Those
Mm-hmm.
and everything has changed for me. I came back. I told my young adult children about it. They were like, Mom, you always had this gift, and now here's your confirmation. And I've been helping out like people in my family, my bloodline. I've been talking more to my family, telling them like, hey, this is what it is. And everything I say, it's exactly what it is. And
Mm-hmm.
I've always been claircognizant, but now it's like, this is your gift. You are
Mm-hmm.
cognizant and just help everybody out. So I've been helping my family and my friends and stuff. So that has changed a lot, where before it was about me. Now it's about them.
How is it knowing that you are able to, that you are the confirmation without cards, without a medium, without any of those things?
It just made sense because before I used to be like confused about it. Like, I know this is the right thing or this is what it is just because I said so. But now it's like before I used to grab the cards just to confirm. And now I'm like, no, I don't even need the cards. I'm just telling you this is what it is. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like a power within me. Like, I didn't know that existed. And
Mm-hmm.
you just made me embrace that gift even more.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. And last question, because I know that when you first came into this space, you were concerned about not being part of the African diaspora. How has it been for you, and how have you felt being in now, literally being in the space?
Everybody was so welcoming. I cannot lie. And you literally told me the truth. You said, I'm not teaching you hoodoo because this isn't your background, but I'm teaching you your magic, your
Mhm.
ashe, what you bring to the table and your own experiences. And you just opened up a whole opportunity for me. And also I felt loved and, embraced by many other people in the community, and that's just amazing for me. I made new friends. I can't even say friends, family
Yeah,
members that
because
I'm like,
it goes that way real fast.
yes.
And I tell you, I think the reason why it does is because first and foremost, if you invest to come to any of my things, you must have already been around at least long enough to be able to receive truth. So you know that the people that you are around aren't necessarily for themselves or to show bold or any of those things. Mm-mm. But it's also important to understand that, I'm so appreciative that you feel confident and received in the spaces, because the reality is this: a lot of people do believe that just because they are a person of color, black person of color, that hoodoo is it for them. And that's not always the case, which is why I teach about your blood, your lineage, so that you can then identify, oh, I may be brown, but this magic is Germanic.
Yeah.
I may be absolutely very fair complected as a European or Euro identifying individual, but maybe it is that totem spirit from that indigenous line that is more where I fall into my space. Who knows? But it is so important to be able to be comfortable in those spaces and be able to um, because it would be incredibly distracting if it wasn't a space to feel welcome and all of those things. And I'm just grateful that you see that, and that you see that I am very serious about those things. But I really don't make it a deal either, I just don't make it a deal. I'm kind of deal. But thank you
Thank you for everything.
so very much. And I'll be seeing you
Tomorrow.
in a couple of hours,
Yeah.
essentially. Thank you so much, Shia. Have a blessed one. Merci.
Yes.
Thank you. Richard, to the side eye of it all. Um, We are in a whole hello, Madame Aphrodite. Bonsoir. So, I just want to say thank you all so very much for watching this evening. I do want to remind you the CONJURE FETE is available now. Get your tickets. Stop holding out. I'm just letting you know. Don't wait. Don't think that you have time, because you don't. People think they do, and they never do. Because once they're gone, they're gone. Also, too, if you enjoyed the interview with Queen Mother and myself, there is a longer version, which that link is also in the description box too. You can click on that, and there's about almost an hour-long video of uncut footage of she and I having these deep conversations with more gems than what you saw. So the hair and lip is giving suburban wife. Yes. Okay. I appreciate that so very much. Thank you all so very much for watching this evening. It's been a pleasure. Until next time, I will see you definitely on Sunday. I'll see you on Sunday. All right. Hey fam, can't wait to see y'all at the CONJURE FETE 2025. Merci, Shia. Bonne soirée.